just enough to be wild for the evening. We fall apart to start believing. I know this feeling drips down my body in the sun. This is the real thing, and I am overcome. Our heads are reeling, my heart beating like a band. Lift up the ceiling as I open up my hands. Oh, this is chemical. Oh, lost in a gold rush. Oh, this is the promise of reckless and ruthless love. We build it up with songs of the broken, caught in the rough between us and the moment. I know this fire reaches the corners of my truth. Oh, I am lighter when I'm reflecting you. Tonight I'm all in. I trade my past for something new. I'll let it reach in to see what this can do. Moving, moving, moving. It's moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. We're moving, moving, moving. We're moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. Moving, moving, moving. We're moving, moving, moving. 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 Moving, I know this feeling drips down my body in the sun. This is the real thing, and I am overcome. I know this feeling drips down my body in the sun. This is the real thing, and I am overcome. Our heads are reeling, my heart beating like the band. Lift up the ceiling as I open up my hands. Oh, this is chemical. Oh, caught in a gold rush. Oh, this is the promise of reckless and ruthless love.
Good morning, and thank you for choosing to join us this morning for the online service for the Bridge Community Church. As you can see, it's a beautiful day, and I came up to the lookout here that I talked about a few weeks ago. I came up to pray and record this video, and as you can see by what's flying around us, that black fly season has started. Praise God for that. So my time of prayer might not be as long as I intended, but thank you for joining us today. In our service today, Phil and Karis Regame are leading us in worship. Kevin Martin's going to be speaking. As well, we have some videos and some pictures and some emails that people have sent in response to last week's message. I said, the challenge was to share what God's doing in and around you, the things that He's making right. And so a couple people sent videos, a couple people sent emails, and Judy Schofield sent a picture of sharing what God's doing in her during this time as well. So looking forward to sharing that with you. Thank you for sending those in, and again, by all means, that you can do that anytime as we continue to move forward through these uncharted times. As well, Bridge Kids, if just remember to go to our website and click on the links that fit your age and grade for home church as well. And I would encourage us as well in these times to really be remembering about our giving. And it's not just for the Bridge, although that's important, our regular giving. But as this continues, we as a faith community, we are going to experience increasing needs around us, and I know it's the heart of the Bridge to really be ready to give to those needs. So remember your offering. Remember to donate towards those things just by visiting our website, and all the instructions are there. So as we start our service today, again, thank you, and it's my prayer as always that as we gather in this manner, that in some way, somehow, that God, that only as God can, that He will meet you, that you will be encouraged, and you will be strengthened in this time that we face. So God bless you, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, Steve. Just wanted to get back and sort of send in a testimony that you mentioned last Sunday on the service. And first of all, I just want to thank you and Kevin and the leadership of the Bridge for the ministry that the Bridge provides. It is incredible, and as a visitor to the area, sometimes we're able to catch that, and we just appreciate your ministry so much. It is such a blessing. And as all of this pandemic and all the challenges that we're all facing, schools and businesses and whatever the case, health issues, I just wanted to say thank you for specifically the series that you did on the quest for character. As we have faced these challenges, it has been incredible to look back through my notes as we're able to attend a number of those services of what you guys just expounded on and brought to our hearts. What a blessing, an incredible encouragement, an incredible blessing as believers. And I just want to share a quick word of scripture, and it's from 2 Kings 6 verse 15, 16, 17, and it's about Elisha and his servant. And I just want to quickly read these. When the servant of the man of God got up and went out early the next morning, an army with horses and chariots had surrounded the city. "Oh no, my lord, what shall we do?" the servant asked. "Don't be afraid," the prophet answered. "Those who are with us are more than those who are with them." And Elisha prayed, "Open his eyes, Lord, so that he may see." Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked and saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. So the quest for character just encouraged us to persevere and to get into the Word and to just chase after persevere, chase after the character that God had for us, that He wanted to be like His character, and to emulate His character, and just seek after being more like Him. And that series was like the opening where Elisha prayed for his servant's eyes to be opened. In this pandemic, it has been like an eye-opening for me, both in my business and trusting God for my family, for our health, protecting those around us, and for just the so many uncertainties and so many things that we're facing. And I just feel like it was incredible that the timing of that series was such that we could kind of get that in our hearts and just have it there, so that we were able to draw upon it in time of need. And man, have I ever looked to that word, looked to those notes that I made in terms of persevering and trusting God, and learning how to trust, and just opening my eyes and seeing that we're in God's economy. We're not in our own economy, that we're not having to do it out of our own character, that Bob Holmes' strength is not what's going to get me through this. It's the character of Christ that we're chasing after. And when we do that and we focus our eyes, and our eyes are opened on that, like Elisha's servant, we see that the battle is not even ours anyway. He's there. He's got it covered, and He's in the midst of it from every little detail. And I'm so thankful for that. And most of all, Elisha says, don't be afraid. And I just think the courage that we talked about, that you talked about in that quest for character, that was one of the key things that I remember. So courage and the ability to trust God and persevere in the Word, and not take it for granted, but to trust it wholeheartedly. I've been doing that, and I'm so grateful. It was such an incredibly uplifting series that has helped me be grounded through this time. It has been such a blessing to me and to my family, and just to listen to God speaking in incredibly powerful ways right now, that if this weren't happening, I don't even know if I would have heard it. So I'm so grateful. I thank the Lord for the ministry and the ministry team at the Bridge, the elders, and Kevin and Steve. Your teaching is so encouraging. It's so relevant, and I am so grateful for it. I just pray that the Lord will continue to bless your ministry, and that you guys will continue to teach all of us how to trust the Lord and be more like Him. Praise the Lord through all of this. I'm so thankful, and I'm just so blessed to have been able to be part of that series, and pray for the Bridge, for strength, and for your community going forward, and your presence in the community, which I know is very evident. I'm so thankful for it, and bless the Bridge. Lord bless you all going forward.
Greetings from our home to yours. I hope that you are well and that you have stayed healthy and safe during these crazy times. This last week, Steve asked us to give a note of encouragement on how during this time things have been positive instead of negative. And in the Robinson home, our children have come back. Brittany's home from Nova Scotia, and Asher came from Ireland. And we have Rebecca here with us as well. And it's the first time we've all lived together in a lot of years. And it's been a blessing to our home and to our hearts. We've reconnected in ways that I wasn't sure would ever happen again as your kids grow up and leave home. but we're here and we're together and we're creating memories. And I feel truly blessed in this time to have my children home with me and to be growing with them and to be intimately involved in their lives. So I just want to share with you where we're at. We're doing well, we're safe, we're healthy, and we hope that you are as well. See you soon.
been held in your hands. The moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire, the darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. Every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. My life laid down, surrendered now, give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. My life laid down, surrendered now, give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. And sings my soul, my Savior God, to Thee. How great Thou art! How great Thou art! Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to Thee. How great Thou art, and how great Thou art. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. song we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever stay. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. We live for you. And holy, there is no one like you. There's none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever stay. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. We live for you. And holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to The Bridge. We're so excited that you've joined us. We're in this series called Uncharted, and as we've been tracking through, we've been looking at things that we find in Scripture that apply to our circumstances right now as we're facing this pandemic. And what I found really interesting as I've been looking at what the writers of the epistles or the letters to the churches, what they've written, they have all written something about dealing with isolation. And the really interesting thing for me is that probably all of them, certainly most of them, spent some time in prison and certainly understand what it's like to be in isolation, not to be able to do the things that they wanted to do. And so they actually address how to deal with isolation, how to deal with trials as they're writing their letters to the churches, because they have been there and they know what it's like to have to deal with isolation. So what I found interesting in as I've been reading this is that they all talk about how to deal with it, how to address your thinking, kind of how to get through isolation and the challenges of trials. But James, who is a half-brother of Jesus, he actually looks at it maybe somewhat differently than the other writers. He looks at it as though this is an opportunity that only comes around once in a while. His view is that trials are opportunities to be conquered. And so as he is writing in the book of James, I find it really interesting that he answers this question right here. What's in this for me? Now, that question is a challenging question. We all ask that. When it comes to business, when it comes to what you're going to do this afternoon, we ask, so what's in it for me? James asks this whenever he faces a trial. And it's not a question that you can apply to all contexts, because Jesus' teaching was actually whenever you are dealing with relationships, you're not supposed to be looking at it as though what's in it for me. You're supposed to look at it as how can I contribute to this person? How can I serve this person in relationships or this group of people? But it doesn't take away this question when it comes to how you navigate through trials. What's in it for me? And it's a question that is really common to any kind of high achiever. The person that gets excited about a new challenge. And the fact of the matter is that if you have no challenge in your life, you really don't have anything to take pride in. When you think about the things that you've created or you've crafted or you've built, the things that you take the most pride in are the things that were the most challenging to build or to accomplish. And so James looks at trials as an opportunity really to get something for you, something that builds you, something to conquer. And so he kind of gets fired up when he faces a trial. And this is how he writes it down. He says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all that they do." So it's confession time for me. As I read those last couple of verses about being double-minded, somebody who is unstable, I think that somewhat defines how I have been facing the trials of COVID-19. There are times that I think, you know what, this isn't so bad. I'm able to work. I have family together. Jen and I are spending more time together than we've spent in a long time, and we're actually getting along, which is a bonus on that. And we've been able to go for walks, and there's some good things. And then there are other times that I actually really struggle to fight the cloud that comes over. the one that says, what's it going to look like when this is all over? What will happen, what won't happen, and I get lost in the what ifs. And there's times in my life recently where you just think, I'm just tired of the whole thing, and I struggle to get motivated to do almost anything. So when James is talking about the whole double-minded, unstable person, I'm afraid that he talks about me. And so as we track through what he's teaching on this, you get to join me as I get to look at what James has to say to people like me. So what's in it? What's in this for me? So as James approaches this whole topic, the idea of a trial, he says you get excited. And why do you get excited? Because you have an opportunity to test your faith. Tested faith. Now think about this. And have you ever realized that untested faith is simply a theory? If you have never tested your faith, you don't know if it's going to come through for you. If you have never tested your faith, it's just an idea of what might work. And James says, this is so exciting that we have a trial because we have an opportunity to test our faith. And tested faith, if it proves true, actually gives us a confidence. Without ever testing our faith, can we be fully confident in our faith? We think it will work, but when the trials come, that's when we find out whether we actually have a faith worth having. And if we have a confidence in our faith, James says that confidence enables us to persevere. And perseverance is a thing that will lead us to someplace else. If we don't have any confidence in our faith, we will just be torn apart. We won't be able to carry on. But if we have a confidence that our faith is going to come through, then we're able to persevere. We're able to carry on. And carrying on in itself is not enough. James is saying, so what's in this for me? James says that if you have perseverance in these circumstances, there's something in this for you. But if you don't have confidence in your faith, then you will never get there. It's like if you are driving your vehicle and you think that you're headed in the right direction, but you might not be, and you look for things that are proving that you are or proving that you aren't. If you don't have confidence that you're headed in the right direction, it becomes incredibly difficult to keep on driving, right? Especially if your spouse is beside you saying, I think you're lost. That just takes away any confidence. But if you have confidence that you're headed in the right direction, you are able to persevere, you are able to carry on. And James says, if you carry on with a confidence in your faith, then you will have an experience that builds maturity. It's the experience that perseverance allows you to have that enables you to have a maturity that doesn't come any other way than through experience. And James looks at trials as an opportunity to go from a theory on faith to a confidence in faith that will allow you to have an experience that will grow your maturity and enable you to be mature. And then what James says is that a mature faith is wisdom. And whether you know this or don't know this, you believe this. The very fact is that you place value in experience and in maturity when you are looking for help with something. If you're struggling in your marriage, are you wanting to go to somebody who's read a lot of books about marriage and has a lot of theories but has never actually been married? Or do you want to go to somebody who has some experience? Maybe they've hit some rough patches. Maybe they're dealing with the exact same thing as you are that you're struggling with in your marriage. And they have somehow got the experience and maturity that they have pulled through and that they have a great marriage. But they experienced the trials that you're facing right now. The same is true with business. The same is true if you're looking for some help fixing your car. You don't want to come to me. You want to go to somebody like Connie Brunson or Joseph Penner. You want to go to somebody who has experience, right? And that, when it comes to faith, is measured with maturity, which gives you wisdom. So James says in this whole track that leads to wisdom, this mature faith, he says, but when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. James says, when it comes to this conquering your trial, to actually getting something out of this trial, he says that everything starts with this tested faith. Everything starts right here, and it falls apart right here, or it survives right here, but it starts with faith and the opportunity to test your faith. And the truth of the matter is that there is a really good chance that depending on what your faith is in, it will be tested and proven to be false. But if your faith is in God, legitimately in God, then he will always come through. But our challenge is that we have faith in all kinds of things. We have faith in money. We have faith in our intellect that we can figure this out, or friends and family will come through, religious practice, spouse, government, science, career. All of these things and many, many others are things that we put our faith in. And you know how you have your faith in it? It's if you're willing to sacrifice other pieces of this to serve the one. So many of us focus on money. We think money is the answer to all of our trials and to all of our problems, but it will fail you. And if you put your faith in your intellect, you will prove yourself wrong. Friends and family, have you ever been disappointed by friends and family? Any one of these things is going to fail. If your faith system is about one of these things, or even a couple of these things, if you think these things will come through in your trials, then the problem is that your faith will fail when it's tested, because people will disappoint you, and money won't heal you. James calls us to a higher level of faith. Now, this higher level of faith is in the provider of these things, the one who is able to come through when rent is due or come up with a different solution, the one who is able to use any of these and many, many other things to come through and allow you to battle through the trial. But if you limit God to any one of these things, you will find that your faith will be proven to fail. But if you put your faith in the provider of these things, then you allow God to use anything in his tool belt. And if you trust him, and if you trust him even when he doesn't come through the way you want him to come through, then he will always show up. He just doesn't show up the way we necessarily want him to. So what's in this for me? As we face the trials of COVID-19, the coronavirus, what's in it for me? Well, James says, any trial, this is what's in it for you. You can get the wisdom and confidence of a mature faith. James, I suspect, if he was here, would say, don't you dare waste this opportunity waiting for it to be over. Take full advantage of this opportunity to grow your faith into maturity and lead you to wisdom. The truth of the matter is that we take no pride. We have really no value in any of our accomplishments that we have done easily. Things that we could do in our sleep, we don't value them. It's the things that have pushed us and challenged us and made us better people. It's like climbing a mountain. Why would you climb a mountain? Well, it's because there's something to be accomplished. And as you face this mountain of challenge of COVID-19, may you conquer that climb. May you get to the top. May you have a mature faith, one that is wise and able to lead you through the rest of your life. This experience could mark your life as one of your great accomplishments if you allow God to lead you through it. May you grow your faith into a mature wisdom with this opportunity of isolation. Have a great week.